there are primarily 2 points of sale in the e-commerce or in the e-retail space. One is the online marketplaces, and the other is one's own D2C. The marketplace is fairly cookie cutter. Everyone understood, why bother when, the Amazons and the Mintras and the Flipkarts of the world was doing all the bulk work, the heavyweight lifting, providing great consumer experience. And, retailers wanted to take advantage of being a multi-brand outlet within, the marketplaces. So that was a no-brainer. But the hard sell really was to explain to businesses that D2C is coming. Brands will have to have and own their own point of sale and their own customer, like they do even in the offline retail. In India, most of the problem starts once the post the order. Unlike in other markets where the size of the market isn't that large, customer acquisition is everything. In India, customer acquisition is only half the problem. The profitability and the seamlessness of the experience in such a diverse landscape is an area that we actually love to partner with brands to get that piece right. So there's a consultative framework there, which is where we believe that entire D2C full stack enabler story comes together. These are pretty much two or three segments, two or three domains or categories of how we categorize it. One is traditional brands, traditional retail brands. They could be in any category uh, that have had a predominantly offline, consumer base. Their market research intelligence has flown through the decades, and they've built large distribution networks or supply chain networks across a complex offline market. Um, the one big strength they have is brand recall, true customer loyalty, if that's a word that still exists today. But the largest challenge they have is repurposing all of that uh, for their consumer, who over ages has also evolved and become an omni consumer. So that is our sweet spot, where we are able to consult and guide that through. The biggest advantage, though, of offline players is inventory or stock is not a limitation, and therefore scaling them, also is an exciting journey, but a very feasible journey because of that repurposing possibilities. We go in with a framework and are able to mobilize that towards scale fairly quickly. So that is one segment of, let's say, traditional brands. They could be nationalized, they could be regional. The other is your digitally native first brands, your D2C first brands, where there may not be, that kind of a legacy with the brand, but the new age consumer is willing to, try, look at categories like beauty, personal care, FMCG, food and beverage. They are such wonderful new age stories, of brands developing trust, engagement, content, amenability, and even providing great experiences. In fact, giving a run to some of the largest traditional businesses just by being nimble. So that's the other, big segment for us, where we talk about digitally, native D2C brands. So yeah, I mean, these would be clearly two segments. We are betting big on brands that want to provide a seamless user experience and have the ability uh, to provide an omni experience to their consumers. They could have either started digitally and then gone, physical for growth, or vice versa, which is the natural progression. Because that's where I think, the cost of customer acquisition, the experience seamlessness, the value of data, the value of retargeting, the customer lifetime value across channels, all becomes, much more engaging and exciting story to thread together for us. So the ideal use cases end up being pretty much in these areas that we have. We've got it chartered down to the category, to the team. We want to go with a much more data-driven, insight-driven, analytical approach of tools and tech and automation, as I keep saying, so that the strength of the team is that from our past, the management team has worked together for a couple of decades each. We have scaled successful businesses in the past. The time is right, and we are fairly confident we will be able to do that. And we want to be associated with successful creation of at least 10 to 15, 100 crore brands in the online domain through our partnering in this coming year itself.